before you imagine oceans, before mountains rose, before clouds drifted peacefully across a blue sky. Picture this, a planet on fire, not glowing, not warm, but burning. Molten rock stretching to the horizon in every direction. Rivers of lava, flowing like oceans. The sky itself thick, choking, and violent. No air to breathe, no water to drink, no ground solid enough to stand on. Earth was once a burning fireball, and today you're going to witness how our calm, life-filled world was born from absolute hell. Welcome back to Earth's archive. If you've ever wondered how a planet goes from a flaming nightmare to the only known world that can support life, you're in the right place. Stay with me, because the story of Earth's earliest days is more dramatic, more violent, and more unbelievable than science fiction. Now, imagine rewinding time. Way back. Over 4.5 billion years ago. There was no Earth, no sun as we know it, no planets peacefully orbiting in neat paths. Instead, there was chaos. A massive cloud of gas and dust drifting through space, left behind by dying stars, tiny particles colliding, sticking together, breaking apart, colliding again. Gravity, slowly pulling everything inward. Bit by bit, that cloud collapsed. At the center, the sun ignited. Around it, leftover material began clumping together, forming the seeds of planets. These were not gentle beginnings. These were violent births. Space was a cosmic shooting gallery, with rocks the size of mountains slamming into each other at unimaginable speeds. One of those growing worlds would become Earth. But early Earth wasn't a planet you could recognize. It was a molten sphere, constantly bombarded by massive objects. Every impact released enough energy to melt rock, vaporize metal, and turn solid ground back into liquid fire. Imagine standing near a volcano. Now multiply that intensity by millions. The surface of Earth was an endless magma ocean. No continents, no crust, just liquid rock churning and glowing red-hot under a toxic sky. And that sky, it wasn't blue. It was thick with ash, sulfur, carbon dioxide, and superheated gases escaping from Earth's interior. Volcanoes weren't isolated mountains. They covered the entire planet. Lava erupted everywhere, non-stop, feeding the fireball Earth had become. The heat was so intense that even space couldn't cool it. And then something happened that changed everything. A collision. Not just any collision, but one of the most important. The impacts in Earth's history. A Mars-sized object, often called Theia, slammed into the young Earth. The force of that impact was beyond comprehension. Rock from both worlds was blasted into space. The surface melted completely. Parts of Earth's mantle were thrown outward, forming a ring of molten debris around the planet. From that debris, the Moon was born, but the price was catastrophic. Earth became even hotter, even more molten, even more unstable. For a time, Earth wasn't just a fireball. It was a furnace, spinning rapidly, glowing from the inside out. Days were only a few hours long. The Moon loomed massive in the sky, far closer than it is today, pulling violently on Earth's molten surface and stretching it like liquid taffy. Tides existed, but not of water. Tides of lava. Imagine waves of molten rock rising and falling across the planet as the Moon's gravity tugged at Earth's liquid body. The ground itself moved like an ocean. Nothing could survive this. And yet, this chaos was necessary. Because as Earth slowly began to cool, something remarkable started to happen. The outermost layer of molten rock began to harden. A crust, thin at first, fragile, constantly breaking apart under impacts and volcanic eruptions. But over millions of years, it kept reforming, cooling, cracking, thickening. Heat escaped into space. Volcanoes continued to release gases trapped deep inside Earth: water vapor, carbon dioxide, nitrogen. These gases accumulated, forming the planet's first atmosphere. Still deadly, still toxic, but progress. As temperatures dropped further, something else happened. Water vapor condensed. Rain began to fall. Not gentle rain, not storms you'd recognize. This was rain that fell for thousands of years without stopping. Water crashing onto hot rock, instantly turning to steam, rising back into the sky, cooling again, and falling once more. Slowly. Oceans began to form. As lava oceans disappeared, water oceans took their place. Earth was transforming, the fireball was fading. But make no mistake, this was still an extreme world. Asteroids continued to strike. Volcanoes continued to erupt. The sky remained dark and heavy. Lightning flashed constantly through thick clouds, igniting the air with electric energy. And deep beneath the surface, Earth's core remained blazing, hot. That internal heat mattered, because it powered something invisible, but essential: Earth's magnetic field. As molten iron churned within the core, it generated a protective shield around the planet, a shield strong enough to deflect deadly solar radiation. Without it, the sun would have stripped away the atmosphere, just as it did to Mars. Earth survived. Earth endured, and because it did, the stage was set for the most unexpected twist in planetary history. Life. Somewhere in those early oceans, in the aftermath of fire and destruction, chemistry crossed a threshold. Simple molecules became complex ones. Energy sparked reactions. Structures formed that could copy themselves. Life didn't appear on a peaceful planet. It appeared on a world forged by fire. And that's the most important thing to understand. Earth's violent beginning wasn't a mistake. It was the reason we're here. Every volcano, every impact, every molten river shaped the planet in ways that made life possible. The heat drove chemistry. The impacts delivered elements. The fire built the foundation for oceans, atmosphere, and protection. The calm Earth you know today is the result of billions of years of cooling, balancing, and transformation. But that fire, it never truly went away. It still burns beneath your feet. Every earthquake, every volcanic eruption, every mountain range rising from the ground is a reminder that Earth is alive and that its heart is still molten. So next time you stand on solid ground, look at the sky and breathe in the air. Around you, remember this: you are standing on the cooled surface of a former fireball, a planet that survived hell to become home. If you enjoyed this journey into Earth's earliest days, make sure to like, subscribe, and join the Earth's Archive, where we uncover the deep stories written into the planet itself. We have many more incredible chapters ahead, stories of oceans, continents, extinctions, and rebirths that shaped the world you live on today. But even as Earth cooled on the surface, deep inside, the fire never slept. Beneath those newborn oceans, beneath the fragile crust, the planet was still churning, still restless, still alive. Heat, trapped from Earth's violent birth, continued to rise upward, cracking the crust from below and forcing magma to escape through countless fractures. The ground was never truly stable. Continents didn't exist yet, only shifting plates of rock constantly being torn apart and recycled. Imagine trying to build a home on a surface that melts, splits, sinks, and reforms over and over again. That was early Earth. And yet this instability was not destruction alone. It was creation in disguise. As molten rock cooled and solidified, heavier elements sank toward the center of the planet while lighter materials rose. This separation gave Earth its layered structure: core, mantle, crust. The core remained scorching hot, hotter than the surface of the sun, while the outer layers slowly hardened just enough to survive. Still, the sky above told a terrifying story. The atmosphere was thick, heavy, and suffocating. There was no oxygen to breathe. Instead, it was filled with carbon dioxide, methane, ammonia, sulfur gases, and constant volcanic ash. The sun appeared dim through the haze, a pale glow struggling to penetrate the choking clouds. Day and night meant little. The sky was almost always dark. Lightning storms raged endlessly, sparked by volcanic gases and violent temperature differences. Bolts of electricity tore through the atmosphere, striking oceans, rock, and lava alike. Each strike carried immense energy that would quietly play a role in shaping Earth's future. And still, Earth was under attack. Space hadn't calmed down yet. Asteroids and comets continued to bombard the planet during a period scientists called the Late Heavy Bombardment. For hundreds of millions of years, massive rocks slammed into Earth, releasing heat equal to millions of nuclear bombs. Entire sections of the crust were vaporized on impact. Oceans boiled. The surface remelted again and again. It's difficult to grasp how extreme this was. If life had already existed, these impacts could have wiped it out repeatedly. And maybe they did. Maybe life tried to begin many times, only to be erased, reset, and forced to start over. But here's the incredible part. Those same impacts delivered something precious. Water. Many of the comets that struck Earth carried ice. As they collided, that ice melted and became part of the growing oceans. Asteroids delivered minerals, metals, and organic compounds, the raw ingredients life would one day need. Destruction was also delivery. Fire was also fuel. Slowly, very slowly, the bombardment eased. Impacts became less frequent. The crust thickened. Volcanoes, though still powerful, became more localized instead of planet-wide. Earth began to settle. The oceans deepened, spreading across most of the surface. Beneath the water, hydrothermal vents formed, cracks in the seafloor where superheated water rich in minerals poured out from the planet's interior. These vents created pockets of warmth and chemistry, safe from surface impacts and harsh radiation. Perfect. Laboratories for life. And in those dark, fiery depths, something extraordinary happened. Simple molecules began organizing themselves. Not because Earth wanted life, but because the conditions made it possible. Heat provided energy. Water allowed movement. Minerals acted as catalysts. Chemical reactions grew more complex, more stable, more capable of copying themselves. Life didn't need sunlight at first, it needed fire. The earliest life forms were simple, microscopic organisms. No eyes, no brains, no movement as we know it. But they had one revolutionary ability. They could survive. They fed on chemicals released from Earth's interior. They thrived in heat and darkness. To them, this planet wasn't hostile. It was perfect. As millions of years passed, these organisms spread through the oceans. Some evolved new ways to capture energy. One group, almost accidentally, learned to use sunlight, photosynthesis. At first, it was just another chemical trick, but over time, it changed everything. These organisms released oxygen as waste, and oxygen was poison to most life at the time. As oxygen slowly accumulated in the atmosphere, it triggered one of the greatest transformations Earth has ever experienced. The sky began to change. The chemistry of the oceans shifted. Many early life forms died off, unable to survive in the new conditions. But others adapted, and as oxygen increased, Earth cooled further. The fireball world continued to fade. Continents began to form as tectonic plates collided and merged. Mountains rose, valleys formed, weather patterns emerged. Rain became gentler. Oceans stabilized. The sky slowly cleared, turning from thick orange and gray to hints of blue. Earth was growing up, but don't be fooled, the fire never left. Volcanoes still erupted, shaping land and atmosphere. Earthquakes reminded the surface that the interior was alive. The core continued to generate a magnetic field, shielding life from deadly solar winds. Fire, once chaos, had become balance, and this balance allowed complexity to bloom. Life diversified. Multicellular organisms appeared. Plants spread across land, transforming the atmosphere further. Animals followed. Ecosystems formed. Extinctions came and went, each one reshaping the path of evolution. Through it all, Earth remembered its origins. Every mountain range is a scar from tectonic collisions. Every volcano is a window into Earth's fiery heart. Every hot spring, every geyser, every earthquake whispers the same truth. This planet was born in fire, and that fire is still writing its story. You and I are part of that story. The iron in your blood was forged in ancient stars. The calcium in your bones comes from Earth's crust. The oxygen you breathe exists because early life learned to harness sunlight on a once-burning world. We are not separate from Earth's fire. We are its outcome, and when you look at other worlds, Mars, Venus, distant exoplanets, you begin to realize something profound. Earth isn't special because it avoided chaos. It's special because it survived it, a burning fireball that became a living world. If this journey through Earth's fiery beginnings is opening your eyes to how incredible our planet truly is, make sure you support the channel by liking the video and subscribing to Earth's Archive. Every episode dives deeper into the hidden chapters of our planet's past, chapters written in stone, fire, and time. And trust me, the next stories get even more intense. Mass extinctions, frozen Earths, exploding supervolcanoes, shifting continents, the fragile future ahead of us. Even now, after everything Earth has become, it's hard to believe how close this planet came to remaining a lifeless inferno forever. One small change in distance from the Sun, one weaker magnetic field, one different collision. And Earth could have ended up like Venus, locked in a runaway greenhouse, its surface hot enough to melt lead. Or like Mars, its fire cooling too fast, its atmosphere stripped away, leaving behind a frozen desert world. But Earth walked a narrow line. Razor's edge between fire and ice. That balance was shaped by something we rarely think about: the way Earth moves, the speed of its rotation, the tilt of its axis, the presence of the moon. All of these were consequences of that violent beginning, especially the massive impact that formed the moon. The moon didn't just light up the night sky. It stabilized Earth. Without it, Earth's tilt could have shifted wildly over time, swinging from extreme heat to deep freeze. Instead, the moon acted like a steady hand, keeping Earth's climate relatively stable for billions of years. And remember those early lava tides? They slowed Earth's rotation. Days stretched from just a few hours long to the 24-hour rhythm we live by today. That rhythm shaped weather patterns, biological cycles, sleep, growth, life itself. Fire created time. As continents continued to grow and drift, Earth entered new phases of its life. The planet breathed through volcanic eruptions, releasing carbon dioxide that warmed the surface, then slowly pulled that carbon back into rocks and oceans, cooling the climate again. This natural thermostat prevented Earth from overheating or freezing solid. The fireball learned restraint. But the past wasn't a smooth climb toward peace. Earth stumbled, again and again. There were moments when volcanic activity exploded on a scale that nearly reset the planet. Supervolcanoes erupted, covering entire continents in ash. Massive lava flows flooded land for millions of years, forming regions like the Deccan Traps and the Siberian Traps. Events so extreme they triggered mass extinctions. Life nearly lost its grip more than once. But each time it returned. Stronger, more complex, more adaptable, and deep below, the same forces that once melted the entire planet continued to reshape it. Tectonic plates collided, forming supercontinents. Then they broke apart again. Oceans opened and closed. Mountains rose, eroded, and vanished. Fire never rushed. It worked slowly, patiently, over unimaginable spans of time. This long cooling allowed Earth to do something no other known planet has done: develop long-term stability without becoming stagnant. Enough heat remained to drive geology, but not enough to sterilize the surface. Enough chaos to inspire change. Enough calm to allow life to thrive, and as life grew more complex, Earth itself changed in response. Plants transformed the atmosphere. Microbes altered ocean chemistry. Animals reshaped landscapes. Forests influenced rainfall. Life and planet became partners in an endless feedback loop. Earth was no longer just a burning world cooling down. It was a living system. And yet, signs of its fiery past are everywhere if you know where to look. The deepest diamonds formed under pressures and temperatures that only exist because Earth's interior is still blazing. Hotspots like Hawaii are fueled by plumes of heat rising from deep within the mantle, remnants of the same energy that once turned Earth into a magma ocean. Even the air you breathe carries the signature of volcanoes. Nitrogen, carbon, trace gases, all recycled from Earth's interior over billions of years. We walk on the cooled skin of a fireball, and sometimes that skin cracks. Earthquakes remind us that the planet is still moving. Volcanoes remind us that molten rock is never far below. Tsunamis remind us that the ground beneath oceans can shift in an instant. These are not flaws. They are signs of life. A dead planet is quiet. A living planet moves. When astronauts look back at Earth from space, they don't see fire. They see blue oceans, white clouds, green land, calm, beautiful, fragile. But beneath that beauty lies a history of violence that made it all possible. That contrast is what makes Earth unique. Fire and water, chaos and balance, destruction and creation. You and I exist because Earth endured its worst days and didn't break. And now we stand at another turning point. For the first time in its long history, Earth's future is being shaped by a single species. A species born from the planet's fire, now capable of altering its atmosphere, climate, and surface at unprecedented speed. The same forces that once came from volcanoes now come from us. We are, in a way, Earth's fire-given consciousness. What we do next becomes part of the archive, part of the story future beings may one day tell. So when you think about Earth as a burning fireball, don't imagine it as a distant past disconnected from your life. That fire shaped the ground beneath your feet. It shaped the air in your lungs. It shaped the time you wake, the cycles you live by, the world that allowed you to exist at all. Earth was born in flames, and from those flames, everything followed. If this story made you see our planet differently, take a moment to support Earth's archive by liking this video and subscribing. Every episode uncovers another layer of Earth's hidden past, stories written long before humans ever existed, but still shaping our lives today. And trust me, the next chapters go even deeper. And as we reach the end of this chapter, take a moment to let it all sink in. Every calm sunrise you've ever watched, every quiet night under the stars, every step you take on solid ground, all of it exists because this planet survived, being a burning fireball. Earth didn't begin as a paradise. It began as chaos, heat, violence, and flame. A world that should never have worked. A world that should never have cooled. A world that should never have carried life. And yet, here we are. You are the living proof that fire can become balance. That destruction can lead to creation. That even the most violent beginnings can give rise to beauty, complexity, and meaning. When you hear about volcanoes, earthquakes, or molten rock deep below the surface, don't think of them as distant dangers. Think of them as reminders. Reminders that Earth is still alive, still evolving, still carrying the same energy that once melted its entire surface. We are not standing on something dead. We are standing on a survivor, a planet that burned, cooled, healed, and learned how to sustain life. And as you move forward after this video, I hope you carry that perspective with you, that sense of awe, that respect for the forces that shaped this world long before we ever appeared. Because understanding Earth's past isn't just about knowledge, it's about connection. If you felt that connection today, if this story changed the way you see, the ground beneath your feet and the sky above your head, then you're exactly why Earth's archive exists. Thank you for spending this time with me. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being curious. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and become part of this growing journey through Earth's hidden history. There are many more incredible stories ahead, stories of frozen worlds, ancient oceans, lost continents, mass extinctions, and the fragile future that now lies in our hands. Until next time, stay curious, stay grounded, and remember where we came from. Goodbye for now. Stay tuned for upcoming videos.